Well, hello there everyone. YouTube have been really exciting lately. Free energy is making a killing, whether it be with debunkers or people who claim to have free energy. But what are the pros and cons? What are the pros and cons? What's really going on? A lot of people debunk, a lot of people back it up. But what's really going on? Well, there's a war going on with it these days on YouTube. So, in as much as they are just going to war, and some people like me are not learning much from this war, I decide why not try and figure things out for myself. Because while on one hand, someone who claimed to be an engineer is debunking free energy devices today, on the other hand, you have people who claim they are engineers, claiming that they can produce free energy. Now, I won't call names. You need to make your research for yourself. You are not going to be babied around here. Around here, I experiment, but I don't hide other things going on to anyone. You need to see the other side. You need to see the debunkers' versions. Okay? Now you need to know these people who claim they are engineers debunking, for example, things like motor generators. You need to know they keep claiming they are engineers. But everyone who is on YouTube trying to come up with free energy are not just people in their garage, in the ceiling, or in the basement. Some of these people claim to be engineers. So who do you believe? Who do you believe today? Well, this is just an introduction today. I'm just introducing an episode because I'm going to work on what I know. I'll go through under Unity. If possible, we can make some small-scale devices. However, today I'm making an introduction because I really want to go through under Unity, Unity, over Unity, perpetual motion. Okay? All is not gray. It's not always debunking people who are just trying to make a fake device. There are, make your research, there are people who claim they dropped out from where they used to work, they saw light, and now they want to work on free energy devices. Okay, don't be fooled. There are both sides to the story. So today we'll make a fast introduction on things that are actually out there that may tend to be left uncovered, and it's in your everyday life. Things that keep people wondering if it's possible or not. Okay? Now make Wikipedia your friend. You need to research on things for yourself and check out things like perpetual motion. But guess what is written by perpetual motion? Over Unity. Motion. Perpetual motion is motion of bodies that continue indefinitely. This is impossible because of friction and over energy dissipating process, etc. So why did people fall for certain things not too long ago? Well, let's go. Okay. This UPS right here is 480 watts. It functions. These batteries, 12 volt, 4 ampere hours battery. Is it Overunity? So, Overunity, if you keep letting people know, hey, I should ask them the what's in and what's out, is it misleading? Probably not. But if someone you taught this happen to fall on something like this, they can say you lie, you don't know what you're talking about, or you're trying to fool them. So let's see why. $12 multiplied by 4.2 is equals 50 watts. 50 watts in, 480 watts out. Is it Overunity? Okay, let's go to something else. If in case you find a battery, 12 volts multiplied by 7 amp hours equals 84 watts in, 480 volts out. Well, let's go more. If you found the battery, 12 volts, 12 amps equals, still not close, 144 watts in, 480 watts out. Debunking is an art. There are ways to explain this. Take your time and explain it. Let us know. So, should somebody like this go and get their Nobel Prize? You've discovered free energy? Should they go and reclaim their Nobel Prize, or will they get kicked out of the pattern's office? Another clear reason why you have to take your time to explain stuff. Don't be in a rush. You might be right, but there are repercussions in the future. Take your time and teach us. I know you might be frustrated with all the things going on, but this is just one example. Is this Overunity? For your information, that's what it is. It's a UPS. Huh? Just a UPS. Huh? That's all it is. That's all for now. Yep. Once again, it's FP Connects with a public announcement to everyone who bases that they need watts in and watts out. You must be clear in what conditions these formulas must be used. Watts in, watts out on YouTube. Look, man, let's just have fun and discuss with each other in a civilized manner. Eh? We did the maths, but something ain't right. Huh? We are not going back to the calculations anymore. You know? What am I supposed to do? The facts. 12 volts multiplied by 4 amps is 50 watts. In versus what? Come on. 480 watts out. Take your time and teach us, because you know we don't have much brain cells. No, let's not get this crooked. More watts in, more watts out than watts in is Overunity. But you need to understand why you are getting these results on a UPS. Right? You need to understand why. Okay? Yep. So, by now I suppose you went and got your Nobel Prize because you thought you had free energy because someone say, hey, it's not possible. But you fell on a UPS and you said, hey, that's what they're teaching on YouTube, you know. But you saw it with your own eye. More what's out than what's in. The point is not, it's not Overunity. The point is, there are things in our society today that have symptoms of Overunity. But we can't grasp what they call closing the loop. For example, UPS has no moving part. It's kind of like an amplifier. But some people just jump on, there's no such thing. It is not possible to have more out than in. So like, is it a contradiction? It's just that sometimes you have to make research for yourself. Some people are so sure of themselves that they don't explain things to you. You need to make research. That's a closed loop system. Can you take a battery? Can you take a transformer from the output, for example, from the 480 watts, a 12 volt transformer, send it back to the battery to recharge the system and keep it running forever until the components are dead or some stuff? Well, it's not that simple. It's not that simple because, hey, if you send a wire back to the system, to the battery, the battery, it needs time to charge. Every battery have a certain amount of time. This lead acid battery, for example, at 4 amps might take 1 hour and a half to charge. But while you're sending the wire back to the battery, it is the input. It's also the input of the system. So it's losing charge. It's actually losing charge faster than you can have time to recharge it. So just the UPS by itself, just with a battery, you can't just close the loop. That's simple. We must remain on the point on why this discussion is taking place. We have to remain on the point and not get off to too much other stuff we can handle another time. There are cases you will see more output than input, but it may be for short periods of time, short bursts. But you will see it in a lot of stuff around you. There are a lot of things like charge banks for phones, which is very popular today. You put 3 volts in them, and they can charge your phone how many times? You might have a 3.7 volt in a battery bank, but it's actually charging your phone probably 5 times. And your phone battery is 3.7 volts. Why? Well, actually your battery don't really charge to zero from 3.7 volts. Your battery don't actually lose charge from 3.7 volts to 0 volts. Get it? So the machine, this power bank is not actually charging your battery back 5 times. It's not even charging it back once. It's just refreshing it. Meaning, when your phone can no longer keep itself on, you need a charge. If you'd measure the battery with a multimeter, you will see it's not at 0 volts. If your battery was discharged at 0 volts, a power bank, for example, with one battery of 3.7 volts would probably try and charge your battery up to 2.5 volts. It will not even be able to charge it back to 3.7 volts. You need to understand batteries don't really discharge to 0 volts. You put a 12 volt battery to charge on a charger. Probably if it drops to 11 volts, 11.5 volts, it never drops to 0 volts. They'll tell you this battery will take 2 hours to charge when it's discharged. Because for it to gain this half a volt to come back to 12 volts will take 2 hours, for example. And for it to also gain the amount of amperes it lost will take 2 hours. But imagine that this battery could drop to 0 volt and not be destroyed permanently. Just imagine that for a moment. It lost all its amps, all its volts. It would take much more time to charge its battery up. It might take 24 hours. For example, a car battery of about 40 amps and up takes about 12 volts to charge. 12 hours to charge. 12 hours. Whereas a simple lead acid battery of 4 amps might take an hour and a half. More amps you have to place into the machine, the more it's going to take time to charge. So these power banks that you're buying to charge your phone, it's not a miracle. They might advertise it like it's a miracle, but it is not. It's marketing. It can't charge your battery 5 times. Or if some will say they can charge it 10 times, it don't charge your battery 10 times. Because really your battery is not dropping to 0 volts. If your battery dropped from 3.7 volts to 3 volts, it is discharged. A battery bank with at least 3.7 volts can borrow it a couple of volts to get itself back up easily. It only has to borrow it like 700 millivolts. It's not borrowing it 3.7 volts. So it can do that a couple of times. A UPS should be a great motivational instrument for people seeking alternative energy. You know, inverters, boost converters, but you must remain realistic. You can't just use a UPS with a battery in it to seek Overunity. You have to come up with other methods, other things. You can't just buy UPS from the store just as it is, wire it in a closed loop. It would not work like this. And AFP Connects is out.